Right, so perfect. I think we're good to go now, Heather. So why don't I introduce to the listeners? So we've got one live viewer at the moment for our first live stream, which is fantastic. We've got Kimberly. So if you want to join us in the chat channel, so yes, we've so Kimberly is on board. So we've got Kimberly on chat. So what I'll do, Heather, is I will call out any questions and comments that come up from the audience.
So what was the question? I forgot.
Right. Okay. So let's start at the top again. So just introduce the piece of work that you're doing now.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. That's what I was going to do. Okay. So here's some hydrangeas. Shannon's hydrangeas from the Ripple Effect. She's also on LinkedIn and she does her own amazing artwork. But she also takes photos that inspired this hydrangeas, and a praying mantis is going to be right here. So that's what I'm doing right now, is doing this bug. It's hard to see, but I do plan to ink as I go. So it'll be easier to see like his little legs and stuff.
Right. Okay. Good. So let's have a look now. Kimberly's is also not hearing your audio too well actually at the moment.
Okay.
So are you able to move your microphone a bit closer to you?
I am. It might be in the shot, but let's see. Okay.
You can just about see the bottom of Oh, move him a little tad back. There we go. That's out now. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Now it's going to wobble for a second. And then, because I got to get the cord under the, okay.
So it's a little better. Have you got the unidirectional on the Yeti? So you are talking in the right side of it.
I wasn't, I don't think. Is that better?
Oh, yeah. Is that better now, Kimberly? Okay, keep talking and then she'll tell you.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is see if I can get this back to my line. I put a piece of tape down here so that I know exactly where to put my paper. Okay, so this is, let's see. Maybe if I turned it that way. Okay, can you see it and hear me?
I can see and hear you. Yeah, Kimberly, you might want to just crank up the volume as much as you can there. So Kimberly can hear you a bit. I'll see what I can do to increase the gain on there as well.
I can increase my gain.
I can. I'm going to try and crank you up. Yeah.
Because mine on my mic is really low. So if you'd like me to increase it, I definitely can.
Okay, we'll see. Go up a bit. Go up a bit higher. Then.
How's that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's bust me. Yeah. Okay. So if you click, so Critty's joined us now on stage as well. So we now got 2 viewers. So you've got a definite audience now.
Yay!
Critty. So what you do now, Critty, is you want to click on me or the thing, and then you'll maximize. Now you can't talk in jibber jabber at the same time. You can either go to the stage and see it maximum, or you'll have to come back to jibber jabber and see it minimized. Unfortunately, you can't see a split screen at the same time. So I think I certainly saw you go red on my thing, so hopefully the sound's working now. Great. So we're getting. It wouldn't be an Artocalypse exhibition without loads of technical sound issues. So Chrissy's just going to redial in on her laptop, really, because it's probably a bit better on the laptop than the phone. So. Oh yeah, sorry. Right, sorry. I'm not doing my job here. So Kimberly's asked some questions here.
Oh, yay!
Yes. Right. So yeah, let me do my job properly as a host for these live art shows. So let's come up with the first question. So, do you use or prefer certain kinds of pens, inks, or papers, etc.?
I have this pencil that I love. It is a 2H, so it doesn't leave a lot of residue behind. And I like Pentel erasers because, and I have my pencil eraser that I love that gets in those teeny tiny little spots.
Yeah.
But really, any fine liner will do it. Copics lasts longer in my experience.
And that pen you're using now, is that one of those retractable ones that pushes the lead out? Is it?
No, this is a Copic multi-liner.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's an ink pen, is it? That's a
felt tip.
That's a felt
tip,
right? Perfect.
It's not India ink in here. It's water and Copic proof pigment ink. Okay. Copic's got their own formula.
Great. And I noticed on your on almost everything actually that you said you use Bristol paper.
Yes, I got me some Nina Bristol paper that I love. So I use that for a lot of stuff because it works in my printer.
Okay.
And it has a nice tooth to it.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's got a lovely... So the reason... And so I live very close to Bristol here. In fact, Bristol I always think of as my home city, even though I'm not from there and I haven't lived there for 16 years. But nevertheless, I still count that's my home city. So I don't know whether that Bristol paper, is that something that originated in Bristol, UK? Or is that just... Is it the name of a company that produces the paper? Or
I believe that the Bristol company came from Bristol. Right. I believe. I'm not sure.
We'll have to check them. Yeah, I'll have to look that up then.
And then I think that it's just kind of like champagne. It's not really Bristol paper. It's
yes, yeah.
It's a texture that is quite sought after.
Fantastic. So that is your go-to paper for drawing then, is it, the Bristol?
Yes. This is mixed media today. Because I have a sketchbook I'm trying to start to use. I'm trying to use all of my paper because I am a paper addict.
Nice. So I can see already that little while we were talking there. So that little, is that going to be is that the hind legs? Is it or something?
Yes.
Perfect. And yet just that little sketch you did there in the last 2 minutes, you've now actually just brought it to life, really, haven't you? From that, it's now got a depth to it that didn't have. It was more you've just sort of made it more three-dimensional looking now, I think.
Good. That's the plan.
That's working. Yeah. So it's amazing. Just the addition of 2 lines there, just bring it to life. So we've got more questions coming in, so I'll read them out for you. So where do you usually get your inspiration from? That's a question from Kimberly.
Oh man. I see the joy that people have in images, or usually it's a joy that someone has in an image that they created, and I can feel it. And so I try to recreate it on paper, if that makes any sense.
So for example, I guess I took an image of or a picture of some orchids when I was out in the field a couple of weeks back, and wasn't intending for it to be reproduced or anything, but I think I can't remember where I put that, but I put it in one of the channels, and then next thing I know it, Heather's drawing a pyramidal orchid.
Yes. And it's beautiful. It was a beautiful picture.
It was. And just those leaves and the shape of the leaves was just
Perfect.
It was just such a reproduction. I pulled up the original photo, and it's just incredible how you've captured the shape of. And nature's just got those shapes, I guess, hasn't it, that you can pull into,
right?
That you can pull from. You
start seeing the more you do, the more repeated you see, because they're never the same shape twice. Yet they all kind of resemble each other.
Yeah. That's. So Critty has picked up on your quote there and said, "Recreate joy on paper." That's a quotable quote right there, which I agree with. So that should almost become that could be the name of a series of live drawing videos that we could do, or something on the Artocalypse.
That'd be fun.
To recreate joy on paper.
But like Feed Your Unicorn, my son inspired that one. And so it's just different things tend to
can trigger.
Yeah.
But you've got no shortage of inspiration anyway.
Not usually, unless I'm sick for some reason or something.
Let me just ask you then, so the one which is one of the ones I still love, this is my favorite. I mean, I've seen so much of your work this week, and it's all it falls into different sorts of, I don't know whether you call it themes or genres or something, but certainly there's different styles coming out. But the one that I liked first of all when I first saw it, and I still like as one of my favourite ones, is Portrait of an Artist that you did. So where did that inspiration come from? That's a bit more I don't know how you would call it. Not necessarily abstract, but it's not like a direct reproduction, or at least I hope it's not. Anyway, with the the nature of it.
I figure bones are who we are inside. Everybody has them. We don't have to worry about, not representing someone, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
And so that's why the bones. And often as artists, you see something on a page or on a canvas and you're like, oh, that's pretty. But you don't realize that that's the person's, their heart and their soul that they've put on a page for you to basically judge at your leisure. So if you be nice if you can be, but if you can't be nice, be kind. That kind of thing.
But be aware at least that it's the artist's heart that's gone into it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a view. So is that a view? So I like that actually. The image of the skeleton. Just thinking about that somewhat. So really, because we're all kind of bones and structure underneath. When you take everything else away, I guess skin color and gender and hair color and clothing, all the things that give us identity, I guess, as humans, is gone really, because
maybe not gone, but at least it's not the most prominent thing that we see.
I suppose we all look the most alike if it was just our skeleton structure that was being exposed.
Basically, I feel like the most people are represented in that.
But then the heart is still out, and then the heart is actually outside of the skeletal body, then, isn't it?
Well, the vein is. The heart is still in the chest, but the vein, you pull your actual vein out to draw or write, it comes directly from your heart. From your heart,
yeah. So that's a very personal piece. So is that a representation then of how you feel when you are?
Oh man, it's probably as close to a self-portrait as I'm going to get.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
Great. So we've got some more questions coming in. So I'm just they're coming in I'm dwelling on them, so we'll keep working through them, keep questions flowing. So what would you say to someone who's interested in art but is a bit afraid or doesn't believe they can learn to draw?
Oh, what I usually say, it's kind of foul, so I'll change the words. Um, it's usually the amount of care that you put into it, because it's going to take time. You're going to fail. It's
Yeah.
going to look like crap a lot. And you just have to like accept the fact that you're not going to be able to do it perfectly on the first, second, third, 100th. You know,
Yeah.
it'll look better as it goes, but you have to enjoy the process, or you're never going to be able to do it. Because, sorry, I'm not breathing right at this second.
Yeah. Okay. So really it's about the process, not the end result, really, that you've got to focus on, because you're not going to get the result when you first start out. Or the
Right.
result that you would like.
If you're really focused on the result to start, you're never going to get anywhere unless you're just a prodigy or something. Some people are.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
So I know from some chats earlier on. So I think, was it 7 years you've been drawing now? Something like
Yes.
that. So that's reason. I mean, that's a chunk of time, but it's not like you've not been doing it for decades.
No.
As accomplished as you are.
But that's also why I struggle with what I struggle with, probably, is I don't have the hours and hours and hours of practice that people that have been doing it since they were children have.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's getting there.
That's perfect. So your focus really there on the which I don't know what I was expecting there, but your focus really on the craft of it as opposed to the art and the inspiration of it.
Oh yeah. If I was focused on the end result, I don't think I would get anywhere at all.
Yeah.
Because I usually don't like it when it's done. That's why I give it away. But it's the process that I find joyful, and other people find joy in my art, and therefore I share it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen that this week during your expo, really, with the reactions of people when people have dropped by and commented and made comments on it. So where else? Let's go through where we are now. So what's something artistically that you want to do but haven't yet tried?
Oh gosh. Skin tone. I have tried it, but not enough to like. I would love to try to do people, bodies with shapes, all the different shapes and skin tones, and it would just, I would love to do that.
Yeah. So
but that's why I do bones, is because it's so much easier than skin tone to me.
Right, because you've got a, yeah. And I think it was Kimberly, I can't remember, there was someone who picked up on the fact that actually when you're learning to draw bones, the way it's taught is you do have to know an awful lot about anatomy and bone structure and everything else in order just to be able to draw a pretty good representation of a person.
Especially like a hand. That's usually why the hands look all wonky.
Yeah.
Is because people forget about the bones that are underneath.
Okay, interesting. So I'm looking at mine now just to try and see if I can get that bone structure.
That's what I did for that one, Happy Valentine's Day, the one with the heart and the hand. I took a picture of my own hand holding something so that I could.
Yeah. So Kimberly definitely agrees with you on that the hands are every artist's nemesis.
Yes.
So that's the. So would you, if you were going to practice that up, then are you? Obviously, you can't really do your own hand while you're painting, but would you be getting a live model then to try and draw off a hand there, or would you just be going off photographs to try and get that structure right?
I usually would try to go off photographs. I'm entirely too shy to stare at anyone's hand for that long.
Right.
I would be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess if you've got a good quality photograph.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually realised when we did a similar session like this with Serena actually, and she was painting from a photograph. So it was one that she'd taken down in New Zealand, and she spent hours on this painting. I think at least 120 hours or something, a very long time. And she had the photo clip next to it, so she very much painted from photograph. So, what's your favourite kinds of art?
Whimsical, surreal art that's got nature in it, yet there's a darker side to it, obviously.
And do you get drawn towards the pencil type of arts, or are you going for
No, it has to be color. I can't do black and white.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but black and white art tends to, I can't do it myself. And then whenever I go to look at it, I tend to glaze. Colors attract me, I guess. I'm a bird.
Yeah. Now, what is this? Just as a sidetrack on here, so this insect that you're drawing, which I think was from Shannon, wasn't it? So Shannon took it in her garden during last week. So now that isn't an insect that unless it's a grasshopper or something, but that isn't one we immediately recognise here in the UK. So what is that?
It's a praying mantis. She is going to one day wreak havoc on worlds, but right now she's just chilling out.
Yeah.
They like to eat. Y'all don't have praying mantises?
No, we don't have. As we said, we don't really have very much here in the UK. Apart from we've got the bee, the wasp.
Yeah. I remember you telling me we've got all kinds of bugs.
Yeah. We don't have an awful lot really. There's I guess I don't know. Can't remember what you call people who like insects. Out of my head, but I guess they would.
Entomologists usually study them.
Yeah. I guess they would say we've got all kinds of things, but in terms of what you come across, there's not really an awful lot. Right, it's the question from Chrissy here. So when you started drawing 7 years ago, were your strokes just as confident as they are now?
Oh, no. They would get thicker and thicker. Because you'd have to go back over them. Because I'm nervous right now, and so it's hard to get but if I don't go fast, then it goes wobble.
I guess you're not normally talking when you're drawing as well, are you? I guess.
No, I hold my breath when I'm inking usually.
Hey, so this is a new experience as well.
But this piece I plan to finish this week. This is just a sketch. I'm sorry that my dogs have decided that it's time to talk.
Time to come on air.
Yeah. But
now, actually, just tell me a little bit about the tracing technique that you were talking about earlier. So, would you now take this sketch and then trace it and then colour the tracing, or are you going to colour this page directly? Right.
No, this is just the sketch, and then I have a light box. So I would place this on the light box, and then have another, I'd probably put my Bristol paper on top of that and tape it down with some washi tape.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. To stick it. Yeah.
Washi tape doesn't stick the way, and you can get it to where it's pH balanced without the acid. But then I would, okay, my plan for this one is the flowers I'm going to trace in yellow on the outsides. So, because the picture that I have, the lines are so delicate, and I just don't think I'm going to do a black stark outline on this one. I'm going to try to do colored pencil lines. And then the veining, I'm going to do blue. And then chartreuse for the bug. And then very dark green for the leaves.
Nice. So you're already thinking about the structure, even though you're just doing the sketch. So this, and obviously one of your other passions is doing the colouring in sheets or sketches. So is this then, would you do a separate line trace again over the line box to create a just
coloring page?
Just the outline for that then, yeah.
Yeah, I could, definitely. I planned on doing that for the pyramidal orchid, and now that I have an extra week, I'll definitely be able to finish that.
Yeah.
And that's usually how I do it. If I'm going to do a black line, I'll create a coloring page out of it, and then I'll usually print out that page and color that, because sometimes it is, you mess up, and I like to start over.
Nice. So we've got some more questions coming in here. So let me have a quick look. So are you a Dali fan at all?
A what?
Salvador Dali fan.
Oh, I'm not. Don't really know that work very well.
No, I'm not. It was just the bright. Just Kimberly thought the bright, bold colours would be something that you might.
I bet. I can look it up.
So when you start drawing something that's from not a photo, which I guess, let's use the example of Portrait of an Artist, although I think you had a strong image for that. Do you have an image of what you want to end up with when you begin, or does it change when you're going along? If you're not actually reproducing a photo, how does that process work?
Usually I have a strong idea of what I want, but like, example, Portrait of an Artist. I forgot to put her or him in a chair of any kind. So by the end, they're just floating. So I had to hurriedly improvise a chair after I'd spent months looking at ribs, trying to figure out how ribs worked.
Right. No.
And so, yeah, it doesn't always come together exactly how you think it's going to.
No.
I've gotten better at it now than I used to be.
Yeah. I guess that's a kind of an interesting hybrid there, isn't it? Because you're trying to faithfully. Was that the one, or was that another one where you said it took ages to get the ribs right? It was that one, wasn't it?
It was that one, yes.
Yeah. So I guess you're trying to faithfully reproduce the actual structures, but you're also drawing something that's completely abstract in a way.
Right. I'm a nerd, so if a doctor came in and told me, "Oh, those bones are horrible," I would be mortified.
Right.
So
you've got to have the you've got to have.
I had to at least try to do my due diligence.
Yeah. Nice. So Kimberly's given it. You'll be able to see this afterwards in Jibber Jabber, but Kimberly's got a praying mantis photo that she's just put up into the chat, so you can have a look at that one afterwards.
Nice.
That she shot last year. I'm not quite sure how you shoot a mantis, or why you'd want to shoot a mantis, or shoot with your camera. Right? Okay, sorry. I thought for a minute you shot a mantis, but yes. So nice photograph, which actually looks like it could be one of your pencil drawings. Actually, the way it's with the background it's on there, it's fantastic. So yeah,
right.
no, we so to clarify for the record, Kimberly is not an insect slaying monster out there. So good. So right, so perfect. So we've made some good progress there while we've been chatting away here now. So where have you got up? So you've got the insect pretty well drawn now, have you?
I have. I think for the sketch, and there's not really much else I can do.
Yeah, perfect. So that is now ready to. So the next stage then of this piece of art would be to then trace it. Is it?
Yes. My next plan is to tape it to another piece of paper.
Yeah.
And put it on a whiteboard, because that's why I ink it, even though my poor chair, I'm sorry. But you can see through it on the whiteboard. You can't see through it here, but
yeah, we can't see there. Yeah, but okay, but that's what the light. So the light behind it would actually then give you the guide to trace it through.
Exactly, and then you trace it with the colored pencil, and then you'll be able to. Those are your new lines. They're harder because you lose them. You can lose them in the jumble, but
yeah,
it should work. If it doesn't work, I'll be surprised.
For someone who's ignorant like me, why would you why wouldn't you just kind of photocopy that and just start colouring that in from there? What are you adding extra detail or extra depth with the lines?
I messed up here and here.
Oh, right. So it's allowing you
to
correct.
Here.
Right.
And I can fix that on another piece of paper. Plus, now I've got the shapes down that I'm able to do. If I colored this one, or even photocopied this and colored this one, it just, I don't know. Maybe it would look right, but I don't know.
That's interesting, though, to think of. I suppose what we're talking about here is the layers of construction, because I think of reproducing art. If you're going to, I think about the finished piece. But what you've got a stage of the process that's actually infinitely copyable. Actually, you could take that same thing and slightly modify it and use the same base sketch, and you can produce a slightly different type of drawing.
Exactly. And that's the great thing is I could potentially, I meant to get my, just one second.
Okay.
I meant to get my colored pencils.
All right, color pen. I think you
so that I could just lightly, just so that you can see what's going to be what.
Perfect. Right, you've beaten. So Kimberly did actually say, "Can we get a short preview of the colouring to have a look?" So now, are these pencils? Are these also the 2B pencils as well, or are these a slightly different?
No, these are Faber-Castell polychromos. These are the Cadillac of pencils that I awarded myself as a gift to myself.
Perfect.
And if you can afford them, they're nice.
Nice.
But if you can't afford them, other pencils are nice too, and you don't have to. Because that's the great thing about art stuff is you don't have to have the fancy stuff.
Yeah.
but this will just be a quick. But I like him. He's cute.
It's pretty nice, yeah. So now Chrissy's coming from another angle here. So and I don't know if this is something you do. Have you ever used these to make an animation?
I have not. I've thought about it. I don't know how patient I would be drawing the same subject over and over.
Each frame. Yeah. I wonder whether would you use would the tracing help you there to try and slightly modify it from the original?
Yes, like now that I have a light board, that would probably help so much.
That's So it's I have no idea how they produced those animations back in the pre-digital era where Disney and co were just frame by frame drawing everything.
Well, they drew them on pieces of plastic.
Right, so they could then slide
one transparency over another, and
right, to give the illusion of nice. Mm-hmm. So we're doing some. So how did you like your? So last week was your birthday, and you spent your birthday week doing your first expo as well. So that was kind of a bit of a double stress. So how did you find that whole experience then of being away for your birthday and also showing your stuff to the world, or a little small piece of the world?
It was fun. It was stressful. Not stressful in like a bad way. Just like, what are people going to think of my hearts and bones? And like I thought, some people thought they were cool, and some people were like, not my thing. And I think that's awesome because you don't always have to have the same thing. But it was really fun. I liked the feedback.
Yeah, it was great, and people, lots of people came in and out over the weekend, so that's fantastic. So, what would you want to do with your next one? I know you've talked a little bit. I know you dropped Kimberly in as well, but what sort of minds have you got for wanting to do? What else would you like to explore creatively on this platform?
Oh, okay. So I do want the Lost and Found Edges to, like, that's what I'm going to try to, like, I'll create the coloring pages, but then I also want to try to make nature a little softer than you can make your, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I do want to get my paints back out. Before they dry up. You gotta use them.
So would you be if you were doing a painting project then, is it the same process where you would be doing a sketch first and then tracing it and then painting that, or is it a different process when you paint?
I usually do a sketch first and then I sketch it onto the canvas. And do my underpainting that is usually pretty bright, if I'm honest, because I like the underpainting to be nice and poppy.
Yeah.
And then but the bad thing about acrylic is that it's never done, because you can always keep adding and fixing and adding and fixing and adding and fixing.
Yes, I think that was a similar question I had to Serena, actually, who wasn't using acrylics but was using oils, I think. But she was saying that it's never actually ever really done, so you just have to stop at some point when you.
Right.
Yeah. So what attracted you to the Artocalypse then, in our little community we've got here?
I thought you were nice, and I saw your profile, and I figured you joined the GWW, and you said, ask me if you like art, and I like art.
Yeah.
It was pretty simple. I'm pretty transparent.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it kind of came about in a sort of... but it's amazing the number of conversations that I have with people who... it turns out that they are artists as well. I start talking to them about something else, and then it turns out that they're also artists as well. So it gives a nice, always gives a nice lead in. In fact, it gets to the point now where when I talk to someone, I'm surprised if they're not an artist, to be honest. So
Yeah, everybody's got some art.
Everyone's got some art in them, but they usually declare it at some point. So Kimberly, Kimberly and I have been talking about how do we provide, what do we need to provide on this platform to allow people to creatively explore whatever they want to do, and build that out. So Kimberly's going to look forward to working with you on trying to create something else in the future as well. Another.
I'm game for
That would be great. Yeah.
I try to help wherever I can.
I think it's good to we found even if nothing else, it helps get your art organized in a way that you want to display it, and then you think about the story you want to tell.
Right. I'd never thought about that before.
Yeah, and that came out in your display. I mean, you had I think it was over 4 or 5 days, but there was a sort of a theme, a grouped theme per day really, and it was taking through. So the very beginning of the exhibition was very different to the end of it.
Yes.
Just in terms of the just the subjects and the and almost you started out from what you would say would be your most complete pieces, I guess. So you started with your greatest hits, I suppose, to sort of lay out that. But then as you went further in, you started to explore, a lot of different topics that you like to look at, and even some works in progress towards the end as well, wasn't it?
Yes. I figure if you're showing your stuff, you might as well just show it. I don't want to just show all the awesome. Not if I think it's awesome enough to show, that's great. But I think that you should show the stuff that you don't always feel is the most awesome too, because then there's people that are going to go, oh, well, maybe not everything's so awesome.
Yeah, well, people will and
be inspired to do it themselves. Like, it's okay if it's not everything has to be show worthy.
No, and people, you might view it as being a piece that's not finished, but for someone else might take something completely different from it. And
very
certainly
true.
Some of the pieces you showed in that section to me, they looked, they didn't look any way less than the pieces that you said were finished. So I think that when you show everything, people will take what they interpret it in different ways. So what we've got. So you've just drawn, just while we've been talking there, you've drawn. So they're the veins of the leaf that you're copying there, and so that will get a darker color. And what are those? Is that, are they petal leaves, or is that some of the plant leaves?
Petals. Yeah, so they are hydrangeas.
Right. Okay. Right. So there'll be quite a strong. Are they what pink hydrangeas are they?
These are white hydrangeas, but I'm thinking about making some that are kind of lilac colored.
Nice.
Because they can be multiple different colors. I think you can have purple hydrangeas. If you cannot have purple hydrangeas, I need to know.
Yeah. We have pink ones in the garden.
Because it all matters what kind of soil you have. So I figured the lilac would go really well with the praying mantis.
Yeah. And I think you can be rest assured that there are so many varieties of species of plants that there's bound to be some purple hydrangeas out there. So I think you'll be fine.
This has been fun.
It has, yeah. And Kimberly's just saying here as well that this community is about the exploration and discovery, which is right, really. It's not about the end product. Just throwing up and here's some stuff I did. It's really about exploring your own creativity and discovering some parts perhaps that, as you have with perhaps having to curate things together in the way that you did, you have to sort of think about what pieces go together and what people actually want to see.
Yes. That was the hardest part. I had to ask my hubs, like, should I show this one? I'm not sure about this one. And he's like, yeah. Show that one.
Yeah. So how big would you say your catalogue was? Because you seem to churn out a lot. Have you got like hundreds of drawings, thousands of drawings, tens of thousands? What sort of?
I do not have as many as you would think because I haven't drawn for very long.
Yeah.
And I don't keep a catalog. So I don't keep all the pictures that I usually give it all away.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what, even the underlying tracings and all the things to make it?
Oh, no, those I usually throw away.
Oh,
I'm
right,
bad
okay,
girl.
You throw it away. Okay, well, that's much better, yeah. So it's gone forever anyway, either way.
Yeah, it's gone.
Right, okay. So I guess there's a sort of artistic quality to that in terms of, like, you've lost the piece that you've created and someone else has got it. But how do you feel about kind of actually starting to catalogue this and actually?
It's strange to see your progress through the years. Because you don't really realize that you've made any until you see it all.
Yeah, that's the thing with most things in life is the same, really, isn't it? You can never measure progress day by day. You have to look at beginning and end points, and then you can see you can see the difference. That's pretty much with any endeavor, really, I would say.
I used to have blank page syndrome pretty bad. So, yeah. But then I heard a story where this woman was cleaning out her mother's house and she found all of her mother's paper and pens and paint and stuff, and all of it was unused. It broke my heart. And so from then on, I've been using all of my stuff.
Right. That's yeah, because then you've actually, that's what they're there for, isn't it? So I guess a messy studio. So tell me a bit about your studio there. We can obviously we can see where you've actually got it there, but what sort of environment are you working in there? Have you got
I've got a big metal desk. It's really not. It's in a corner. This is not where I usually work. I usually either work on my artboard sitting somewhere else, but this is where I could do the video.
Yeah.
But it's like a desk from the 70s that my mother-in-law gave to me that I absolutely adore.
Nice.
But
so yes. So that's good to have it. So you've got enough space to have it dedicated where you can just leave.
Oh yeah,
in one place.
I have got it made in the shade. If I, wherever I want to go and create, I've got the support and room to do so.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Which is always wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just gonna kind of move about.
So the shades there of yellow, you've not changed colour, but were you just pressing harder then on that bit where it's slightly darker yellow?
Right there?
Yeah.
Or right here?
Well, I was thinking right there where you just pointed
I probably pushed a little harder, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going a bit fast for coloring, but I wanted to get the idea down.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then for the green that goes all the way over here.
Yeah. So Kimberly's getting very excited about this stuff we've got going on here. So she's suggesting we stream to Twitch.
Ooh, yeah, Twitch is fun.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't got I've been onto Twitch just to sort of check it out, but we haven't got an Artocalypse account yet on Twitch. But that would be very easy to do from here. Actually, that would be a whole heap easier than streaming to Discord. That's for sure. Great. So Kimberly started something over there, which is good. So we can, streaming to Twitch is a doddle, actually, much easier than streaming to Discord. So, actually, I'm not familiar with Twitch. Is there a chat functionality built in as well?
Yes,
there is. So we could do the same thing that we're doing here, but it's links. So we should, we should definitely try that then, because we'd get a bigger audience on Twitch as well. And we wouldn't have to fiddle around with all this. I guess they do all the recording as well. So it would, so that would be, maybe that's something to do for a future thing. Is to
they erase your recordings if you don't keep it up, though. Like if you start to slack off.
Once they're done, we can download them ourselves. Really, I could always record it here locally. The recording bit isn't the hard bit, actually.
Right.
The audio on Discord, trying to get the audio and video streaming synchronized was the hardest bit. So, but anyway, that's done now. So this is looking really good. So I'm really liking this view as well. So we can certainly do something similar. The other artists we've got here.
Yeah, I think it's fun to just kind of play, and I thought about trying to draw it live, but I was afraid. I chickened out.
Well, you drew the mantis.
I did draw the praying mantis live. Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
The flowers were quite intense, all the overlapping, and
there's a lot of spirals going on there, I have to say. Yeah.
Yes. I've been trying to experiment with the mediums I have, which is like oil pastels, watercolor, colored pencils. Of course, I think I'm most successful with colored pencils.
Okay, so yeah.
I think I've just been doing those longest.
Yeah. And do you actually switch when you have a topic? Would you actually do something in like pencil and watercolor, say, or are you just really picking the medium and the subject to go together?
I've done pencil and watercolor together. You have to get it off first, or it'll look muddy.
Yeah.
Or the pencil, or you're talking about colored pencil?
No, I was thinking about colored pencil or watercolor. Yeah.
You can do watercolor as a background, and then some people do colored pencil on top. I've never done it necessarily.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to figure out how to do watercolor, and it's hard.
So Kimberly's asking here is, do you need a quiet and dedicated space to draw? Are you the sort of person who can draw anywhere?
I can draw anywhere. I have 2 kids, 2 dogs.
Right.
A husband that likes to wiggle and sit by me. I have a very happy, wonderful family that I have to navigate drawing around. So
perfect. Right. So you've completely adapted to your environment.
Yes. I know when to lift the pencil. I know.
Yeah. Perfect. And do you listen to music when you draw?
I usually listen to an audiobook.
Oh, okay, nice. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, but not audio books, really say. But I much prefer, if I'm concentrating on something, I much prefer the spoken word rather than just music.
Right.
Yeah. So what colouring tips would you give to people?
Okay, let me think. Start with your lowlights and your highlights and kind of try to put those in first. And then you can kind of see where the rest of it needs to be colored. Like I haven't been doing that here at all, obviously.
Right, yeah. But it's not really colored yet.
I could do it on one leaf. Okay, let's do one leaf.
Okay, that's good. So Kimberly was giving me a lesson in colouring, or colours rather, a couple of months back, and she was telling me about the importance between light and dark, really, and trying to more so than even the colours themselves, but actually trying to get the colours that go together, which have the mixture of light and dark in them.
All right, so I haven't done the boning on these yet.
So what dogs do you have?
I have a Catahoula and a Min Pin mix. She's a little dachshund hot dog and miniature pinscher mixed together. They are so cute. Both rescues.
Rescue dogs, yeah. Do you draw your pets or other animals then, or is it?
I've never done that before. No, I'm always afraid that I'm going to massacre it and then offend someone. Because a bug, I mean, if I mess up Shannon's flowers, it's not like she's going to be like, oh my gosh.
I don't think you're going to be messing up Shannon's flowers, so I wouldn't worry about that.
But if you mess up somebody's portrait, they sometimes, is that really how you see me? I'm like, no.
Yeah, well, maybe some people just don't like the interpretation of that people might put on them.
Yeah.
So how did COVID affect your creativity then? What happened there through the last year or so with you?
I quit drawing.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah, I kind of went into this thing where I just didn't create as much. I tried to do other stuff. Like I sewed a little bit. I made masks. I made other stuff. But as far as like drawing, I had not drawn until I drew those daisies that I drew on that journal the other day. So I'm on a new kick here.
Right. Yes. Okay. So I remember you posting the picture of the new journal and the new pencils. So that was your first foray back into drawing.
Yes.
Since lockdown. Wow.
Then yeah. Because I just didn't have it.
Was that a combination of just like having homeschooling and just all the disruption around that you just didn't have time for that, or did you?
I don't know. I could just feel the world grieving somehow.
Yeah.
I'm not in a. I don't know. It just couldn't find it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I don't know how things are going over in Louisiana, but we're certainly. We think our Prime Minister tomorrow is going to give us the all clear on just lifting all final restrictions. COVID now, all the restrictions that have been coming on COVID. So whether that means life is back to normal, who knows? Because there's a lot of cleaning up to do now. But I think it looks like we're out. The first part of it seems to be over.
Right.
I suppose if you paraphrase Churchill, it was like, this isn't the end, nor is it the beginning of the end, but it's the end of the beginning, I guess, is the way you might characterise where we are at the moment. It's going to be with us for a little while.
Yeah, it's going to be endemic by the time it's all over.
Yeah.
But you just got to keep trucking.
So that bout of where you weren't actually creating things, how did that affect you?
Depression.
So you did. So and was it just the thought that you weren't creating, or the fact that you'd been driven not to create, or then how did you then?
I don't know whether it's directly linked, but if I'm depressed, I can't create. If I'm creating, I can't be depressed. So it's like,
Right.
if I can make myself pick up my pens,
Yeah,
and do it rather than just kind of letting another day pass, it has a huge effect, rather than if I just let the day pass and don't watch colors mix together somehow.
yeah.
I don't feel the same.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to do it. In fact, there's a task that I've been putting off for quite a long time now, which, and in one sense, I enjoy the sprint to the finish, but I don't really. I wish I'd started this a week ago, but I need to actually just pick up the thing and do it tomorrow. So I shall take that on board. But it's good
I am holding my pencil sideways to get a very soft edge, in case anybody's wondering.
Nice.
But yeah, just get it started just a little bit.
Just switch that around so it's the other way up. So for the camera, and down a little bit. That's perfect. So, I mean, look at how. So we've been just pretty much broadcasting an hour now, and we started out. So, but that now it's funny, isn't it? How just a few brush strokes, a few pencil strokes, and actually that's brought to life now. You can now start to see. You can see the mantis. You can see more definition of the flower. It's incredible, isn't it? Just in 1 hour's work. So Chrissy's asked me to take a screenshot. I don't. I'll take a screenshot afterwards. Actually, once I've got the recording out, and we'll be able to put that up. I don't need to screenshot the screen. So that's brilliant. So that's good. So we've done our 1 hour show, which is our live drawing with Heather, who's gone through an awful lot of technique for us and to look at and inspiration. We've covered quite a lot of ground, really. So that's exciting. So we look forward to seeing you again next week. So next week you're going to be carrying on. You're going to be doing a bit of behind the scenes stuff then in your booth.
Yes, I'm going to try to continue this particular piece, and I'm just going to show y'all what I do from day to day and the progress and see how it goes. Why not?
Fantastic.
Let's just see how it goes.
So we'll all be in there, and we shall see you next time. Okay, well, thank you very much for showing us inside your studio today, Heather. And
Sorry, I didn't. I guess I should have showed you everywhere, huh? I didn't even think of that.
Next time, you can give us a tour of your virtual studio. A virtual tour of your studio.
Yeah, I'll clean up a little more and.
Cool. Fantastic.